So, man, look, let's get right on to it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like I said, we are. This episode is very strategic for me because as I kind of get into the transportation industry for my own, I think you are a person that every time I talk to somebody, whether trying to get certificates, whether trying to apply for different, insurances or MC numbers, DOT numbers, don't matter what it is, your name keeps coming up. Bro, have you reached out to Alix, bro? Dude, bro, in Atlanta, bro, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? How did you even come about, and to the viewer who may not know you, what is it that you do?
Right. Which camera am I looking at?
Man, this is your camera right here. That's our camera right here.
All right, cool. Man, honestly, Cam, it was so organic, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I literally just started my own trucking company in 2012, and I had just started my Instagram page, man. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I just started sharing my journey. Like, I was like, what am I gonna post about? And the only thing that I was consumed with at that time was my trucking company. Like, I was 100% focused on it. So with the little bit of followers I had at the time, I had about 800 followers. I was just showing the journey of me getting my first truck. Right. I was super transparent, showing them like when I lost my first truck, when I went out of business in the first 11 months and then I grinded back to get it back up and running. I was literally just showing and being super transparent with what I had going on. Right. And then when I finally started seeing some daylight was 2015 is when I finally really started having some sort of success in the game.
So what does daylight look like?
Daylight is actually being green, actually making a profit. I had been running for the first 3 or 4 years. I was running a nonprofit organization is what my accountant called it. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm running, but I'm not really doing the business correctly. So I ended up just growing pains, man. Right. But when I finally seen my first profit in green in 2015, once I worked out all my kinks. Right. And the following years when I did my first 7 figures in trucking. And it was at that moment I realized...
Hold up. Now, before you sit up there and just subtly say figures, you said how many figures?
7.
Real numbers?
Yeah.
As the young folks say, or the Gen Z say, no cap.
None at all, yeah.
Right? And, what's your technique in doing it? Did you drive trucks?
Nah, I never drove a truck a day in my life, man. Yeah, I never, to this day, I don't got a CDL, and it's so funny because when I first, got into the industry and I was telling people that I was actually ashamed of it at first. Mm-hmm. It was actually something that was looked at as a handicap, like how you in the trucking industry, how you own trucks and you don't drive trucks, you dig? And it's so funny because I ended up meeting my mentor, him, E.T. the hip hop preacher. Yeah. And when I first met him, man, the first thing he said was, man, I've been hearing about you and you done did all this and you ain't never drove a truck. Like it take a certain level of execution to pull us off. Correct. Without driving a truck. So what started off as a handicap for me ended up being my superpower and being a part of my story.
Right. So even then to that point, you got Jeremy Hill, a person similar to you. Have you ever drove a truck, Jeremy?
Never drove a truck, bro.
Right? And what's your claim to fame of how you find, the means to take care of your family?
Almost similar to him. 2014, got into the industry under another company. Was successful inside that company, but realized that they wasn't respecting me as such. It was a industry where the minority was slim to none. I was in the office full of, Caucasians. Mm-hmm. You could say the numbers was probably 10 to 1, 15 to 1, really. Right. And then I just took a leap of faith, and said, only thing that they was giving me was a computer and a phone. Right. Right? And some insurance. So I took the initiative to say, what makes you guys better than me?
Right. Independently.
Independently.
Right.